and GG just had to go and flip the whole meta on its head. I'm not complaining. With patch 3.27, Keepers of the Flame, we are getting 10 new Bloodline Ascendancies that every single build, every single class are going to get access to. They're going to allow you to completely warp the way your builds are going to play, and they're going to completely change the meta around. I'm really excited for these, and what I want to do over the next few days is to just simply go over them, discuss them, get the creative juices flowing a little bit, do a little bit of theory crafting, and just basically give you some things to think about while we wait for the season to come out on Friday. They also reworked the Assassin Ascendancy, which is not very good, but hey, they tried at least, and we should probably go over that as well, it's something to talk about. To begin with Assassin, my opinion of it is that it's just going to be a flesh and flame target for both Trickster and Sabo, and you're not going to really ever want to play it. The name of the game in Path of Exile is defenses. If your build doesn't have 50,000 health, 50,000 energy shield, 50,000 evasion, 50,000 armor, 50,000 movement speed, spell suppression, block, giga recovery, and 20 other defensive layers on top of it, you literally die to a white monster. Assassin's issue has been that's always just the most giga glass cannon ascendancy in the game, and if you don't one-shot everything, you're just gonna die. That's why Assassin has been condemned to nothing but sanctum farming and uber boss farming, where you're looking to never get hit and you're looking to insta-phase the enemies, and it's honestly gonna stay that way because attempting to do a tier 16.5 or tier 17 map like this is going to be completely miserable. Let's compare the Trickster for a second. Trickster gets a really good evasion and energy shield scaler built in. It gets a way to instantly start its ES recharge again, and it gets more spell suppression effect. It gets infinite ES leech. It gets a node that allows you to sustain off of it while still giving you damage, and it gives you a node that makes you immune to any sort of action speed reductions. What does Assassin get in comparison to that? It gets opportunistic, which literally only works on Uber Cortex and for like 2 seconds on boss fights, and it's never going to work in maps because your whole goal is to one-shot everything. Otherwise, you're just going to die. And then it gets Mistwalker, which you don't even take for the defensive layer, and you take it because Elusive gives you movement speed. They didn't really do anything here to give it extra defensive layers. They just buffed opportunistic to 35% and then gave Mistwalker another 50% increased elusive effect. And I feel like they could have done so much more here. And if they literally just added a line to Mistwalker that just said your crits refresh elusive, it would have been a whole lot better, because having a big elusive effect on Assassin would have been thematic and really cool and a pretty decent defensive layer, given this is just trying to be a glass cannon ascendancy. While sure, we have Shadowed Blood, you're never gonna take this as a defensive layer because that's just garbage. Recoup is pretty bad, and it's only really good with Stasis Prism, and you're not going to really get that, especially in the early game. And the only reason you'd ever want to take this node is for the unaffected by damaging elements, because that allows you to play Self-Ignite on this with Fulcrum, which was only really possible in Elementalist or Chieftain before. Don't get me wrong, Assassin does have some pretty cool new nodes. I really loved Infused Toxins. I love nodes like this that just allow you to play whatever you want with it. They're just ambiguous and just allow you to theory craft something fun. This brings Poison Spark back into the meta. This allows Poison Molten Strike to be pretty good again. You don't have to use a dagger with it. And yeah, it's just going to be something you're going to flesh and flame as a Trickster, unfortunately. It also has Mystical Infusion, which is Sandstorm Visage on a node. And this is going to be pretty fun as an early game node. And it's going to be pretty fun on the Trickster once again. Outside of that, the rest of the nodes that it has just received slight numerical changes, and that's about it. They did get one new node, Death Marked, which gives you Assassin's Mark on hits, but I don't know, do you really want to spend 2 ascendancy points to pick this up when all you're really gaining is just 2 additional gem slots? Probably not in most builds, and the only reason you'd ever actually want this might just be for marked enemies can evade attacks, but like, what does that really benefit? Like, what are you really playing as a crit attack builds? You're probably just playing cast and crits, and like, cast and crits is better on an Inquisitor or an Occultist anyways. They do basically the same damage. Yeah, Assassin might give you 20 or 30% more damage, but they can live and they can take hits. While with Assassin, you're just going to get one shot. So I don't know. It's cute, I guess, but I feel like the opportunity cost is quite bad. They also took Ambush and Assassinate and split it into 2 choice nodes, Knife in the Back and for the Jugular. And I don't really know how I feel about this. I feel like it's just overall worse. Outside of that, there's literally no other changes to it. Yeah, sure, Opportunistic, Unstable Infusion, and Toxic Delivery got slight numerical buffs. It's nothing to really write home about. And again, I feel like just because the Paper Ascendancy is going to be a massive deal breaker for a lot of people. Anyways, moving on to the new Bloodline Ascendancy classes. So the way these are going to work is you are going to get access to them no matter what character, no matter what class you're playing, and they're not going to be exclusive at all. All you have to do to unlock them and to swap them around is simply just kill the boss that accompanies them. So if you want the Chaos Bloodline Ascendancy, you just have to go and kill Trial Master, and it's all yours. If you want the Oshabi one, kill Oshabi. If you want the all one, kill all. You get the point. All of these are going to have a bunch of nodes on them, which you are going to be able to pick with your ascendancy points instead of picking your normal ascendancy. You get access to both trees at once, and it's up to you on what you do with your points. So it is going to come with opportunity cost. You're not just going to get everything here for free, but if you're playing a build where your last two ascendancy points didn't really do anything for you in the first place, or if you're playing a build that was kind of homeless, where you maybe had like one node you really cared about and the rest of the ascendancy was just kind of whatever, well, this gives you a chance to do something cool with them. First off, we have the Chaos one, which is going to be pretty fun if you want to play Vol skills. Corruption's Embrace just gives you access to a bunch of Vol-related keystones for having more corrupted items equipped. And we are getting a new keystone here, Sacrifice of Blood, which allows your energy regen to keep going past full life, giving you a barrier for 30% of your max life that takes damage before anything else. That's pretty neat, in my opinion. Getting Everlasting Sacrifice on top of that is also really cool. That's just an amazing defensive layer. And then having Shepherd of Souls is either just going to be a dud, not going to do anything for you, and you're just going to take this for the defensive layer aspect of it, or it's going to be very fun to play around if you want to play something like Vol Arc or Vol Spark. The other side of it is going to give you a choice between 3 separate nodes that are going to augment your Vol skills in different ways. Priest of Yamok is going to make it so you can spam your skills a little bit more often, and it's going to be a little bit easier to do so. Priest of Kopek is going to make it so your skills do more damage, but they're going to be a little bit harder to get ready to be used. And then Priest of Kazma is, well, it just makes Vol Smite a complete broken skill. While, yeah, this would make things like Vol Haste and Vol Grace a little bit better, and that's cool, I think the biggest use case of this is just, well, 50% increased aura effect for Vol Smites, along with 50% increased duration. Overall, I really like this. I feel like it's a really general ascendancy. They can just pick if you want defensive layers, if you're okay with corrupting all your gear, or if you want to do something Vol related. We then also have Oshabi. This one's kind of fun because it's a grab bag of a bunch of different things. And what I really like about this is Primal Owl allowing you to finally be able to scale unleashes. The issue here is that the game literally has no other support for unleash scaling. You can now get to 9 maximum unleashes if I'm not mistaken, but the only other nodes on the tree anywhere that deal with unleash is Unleash seal frequency gain on cluster jewels specifically. It does give you quite a big multiplier. They actually nerfed this. It was 10% more damage per instead of 5%. And you're going to be one-shotting bosses with this, which is going to be quite fun. And overall, yeah, it's a pretty nice buff for self-casting builds. You also have Vivid Cats. I don't really like this. It's kind of whatever. It does allow you to refresh your elusive. Elusive is just a buff that slowly ticks down over time, and you have to wait for it to completely run out before you can apply a new one. So you never really have it at full power, and this just gives you a 50% chance to be able to refresh it, as you are going to be above 100% effects pretty much always if you care about elusive. And the increased self-fall elusive is just kind of whatever. It's kind of neat, but no build really cares about elusive right now, so it's going to be ultra niche. Lastly, we have Wild Bear, which gives you more maximum rage, which is always fun. And then you also get a way to get adrenaline from this. So if you have really good rage gen and you want other defensive layer, well, this is going to be really good, as it kind of makes up for the fact that you lose your rage with adrenaline just being very, very strong. Lastly, we have the one that I like the most out of everything they've shown, the King of the Mist one. It's going to have 2 really simple nodes. First off, Unlit Silhouette is just Archmage, but for life stacking. We don't really have very good ways of getting very large life costs in PoE 1. This is something that's really easy to do in PoE 2, which is quite nice, but unfortunately this needs a little bit more support in PoE 1. But given these are now going to be permanently in the game, as soon as they add ways to push your life costs even further, oh, this is going to be fun to play around. The other node is really simple, and if you played PoE 2, you already know about it. You just get +1 ring slot. The way this works in PoE 2 is it just gives you an extra ring. This doesn't work with Calandra's Touch or anything like that. And it's likely going to be the same case in PoE 1 as well. But if you want another mirrored ring, you can now have 3 copies of it, which is going to be pretty broken for attribute stackers and whatnot. It does come with a pretty hefty downside. You're either going to lose your amulets, lose your flasks, or lose your belt. So pick your poison in terms of what is going to be the least impactful thing for you, and you're going to have to really decide if a 3rd ring slot makes sense in your build. It does allow for some very silly things. You can now 100% convert with Badge of the Brotherhood, or you can run a self-chill setup with Winter Weave and Call the Void, and then still get another ring. And you can get yourself some pretty disgusting scaling through added damage for Frenzy or things like that. You could also potentially run a Curse on Hit ring and builds that really needed to run 2 specific rings. You can get a 3rd reflected ring if you cared about reflected stats. So something like Doriani's has an easier time getting to -200 now. And I'm sure there's a bunch of other applications that I haven't really considered yet. I really like what they've shown so far. I think it's very fun. I think it's exciting. And I just hope they do more wild stuff like this with the other 7 that we haven't seen yet. And my hope is just that we see all these within the next 1 to 2 days at most, so we have plenty of time to think about it and theorycraft it before the season launches. We're going to get more tomorrow, most likely, so you can expect another one of these videos then to discuss everything, yap about it a little bit, theorycraft it a little bit, and just give my general opinion on it. If you have any questions on any of this, do feel free to leave a comment in the comments below, and I'd be more than happy to help you as soon as I can. I also stream on Twitch every single day, so feel free to come by there. We're going to be doing a lot of theory crafting leading up to season launch. I'm going to be doing everything in my power to try to play a build around a Bloodline Ascendancy, just because that sounds really cool. So if you want to join in with the theory crafting or ask me any questions, feel free to come and join our community, either there or on Discord, and just have fun with everyone else. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, kitties. I hope you're just as excited for the season as I am, and I'll see you all in the next video.